I'm on a quest to find music and art. Supporting local talent is the place I start. Yeah, this is our culture, the place to be. Games, books, arts and crafts and jewelry. This the guardians of the geekery. 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 And now for today's episode of Guardians of the Geekery with your hosts, Matt, Carol, and Joey.
Guardians of the Geekery. We were trying so hard because when I edit this thing, sometimes my eyes are closed or one eye is or my glasses are like this or I'm taking a drink or something. And then we were trying to do that thing like at the end of a TV show where they used to freeze it. But we're trying to do that.
The Police Squad.
It was too much. Hey, but forget about all that. You're here for the Guardians of the Geekery, and we're focusing on the Geekery Market, November 5th. Yes.
4th.
Oh my gosh, Saturday. Sorry, it's a Saturday.
Don't come on the 5th. We won't be there. So
November 4th. Try. Hey,
check all of the links. Yeah. Go to the web page.
Go to the web
Mark
page.
your calendars correctly.
Do it. November 4th. The Quattro.
11-4.
I think I found your blooper of the day already, Joey. So
yeah. Mark that at 1 second in. That's perfect. So don't have to go too far to find my little TikTok clips. So that's perfect. But hey, so we have a guest. Let's act like we have company here. Come on now, kids. So we have Morgan with us. So Morgan, you came to the you came to the last market in February, and that was your first time with us, correct? Your first time showing. And you guys do fan cars. Specifically, a lot of them are Pokemon cars, right? So
yeah. We do a wide variety. We do anime, we do Pokemon. We've got some Transformers with us. Pretty much anything that you could think of, we probably already have a car for. So it's pretty cool to see us all come together. There's, I think, about 30 or so of us just in the state alone.
Wow. That is amazing. That is awesome. So tell us a little bit about how you got started in the fan car business. And for anybody who doesn't know, explain a little bit like what a fan car is.
So the term that we use is called Itasha, which means I guess the translation for it actually means like cringe car, because it seems like cringe as in like it's kind of expensive to do. So it's kind of a little cringy to look at sometimes depending on what's on the car. But I got started in it probably about, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I was at a local anime show in Concord and had seen them all out on display and really wanted to kind of learn the process behind it and kind of see if I could create my own sometime in the future. I have a degree in graphic design, so I thought that was a really cool creative outlet for me, something completely outside of the box of the norm. Reached out to a now really, really good friend of mine who kind of showed me the basics. Went through probably 3 or 4 different renditions on my previous car, and then kind of convinced my boyfriend to join along with me. He wasn't into it at all when I met him. He thought it was weird until we went to a huge gathering up in Greensboro where all of our friends were at, and he was the only like normal car there, and he felt left out, so he wanted to be a Pokemon car. And
so you brought him to the dark side.
Exactly, absolutely. So he let me design his car, his previous car, and so that was really fun. I was really excited to be trusted with somebody else's car besides my own. And we both ended up pretty much switching out cars. He wrecked his and I traded mine out for what were the ones at the Geekery Market, which was a lot of fun, kind of learning again how to design characters for different cars and learning how to tie in that design with the body lines to make it look really well. His new Pokemon one, the white one, is probably one of my favorites to have designed because it pushed my limits a lot as a designer. And it just looks really cool. It's really eye-catching. He gets stopped all the time. Doesn't matter where we are. Be at the gas station, going to Walmart. He's going to get stopped for photos.
So you do actually drive these like just around?
Yeah, so these are our daily vehicles. We're not rich enough to have dailies to not drive these ones around, but yeah, we drive them everywhere. We travel all over with them. We've been to Tampa this year. We went up to Virginia Beach just recently. We went as far as Memphis for a Pokemon convention where my boyfriend got to take his car and meet the singer of the Pokemon theme, as well as the original Ash and Professor Oak.
Whoa.
Wow.
So that was really cool.
That's amazing.
That's cool.
So what's been
As someone
your
who drives
funniest?
a somewhat, someone who drives a somewhat distinctive car, I don't fan car mine up, but my bumper stickers do tend to get attention. So
Yeah, we actually had our anniversary this week. I mean, not to get off track, but the anniversary of when I found out that Carol was working in my building because I had seen
she
her
put my car on
previously at
Facebook.
a geeky event, and then I was walking through or I was driving through the parking lot, and I like almost slammed my brakes on because I'm like, I've seen a car with all those stickers on it before. So I literally stood behind and said, I know I should probably not do this because it had the license plate on it and everything, but
It was a personalized plate.
I was like, whose car is this? And it
was
was literally on Facebook for like all of 30 seconds before like 20 people tagged Carol. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then we started having lunch together a couple times a week, and the rest is
now look at us.
history. Now look at us. So but yeah, so like having a distinctive car. So what's been like one of the odd or interesting interactions you've had as a result of driving this car around day to day?
I mean, when we travel, it's really cool when we travel in groups. We convoy to a lot of places. I know when we were in Florida, we had 5 cars that were all convoying down to Tampa. We had kind of met up along the state as we had traveled down. And so it was really cool to kind of see, a little kid driving by with his phone plastered up to the window, trying to, film all the cars as they go by. But I think the craziest one that I had was with the old car. I was at a gas station and just minding my own business, fueling up, and this car comes flying up out of nowhere. This girl pops out. She's like, "Oh my god, I love your car! Can I get a photo with it?" And it's like, it's a normal day. I'm not going anywhere. I was just trying to get gas, and it totally threw me off because I thought I was going to get like mugged or something. Because for sure. But I mean, we get that all the time. Just the other day we had gone somewhere with my boyfriend's car, and these little kids, as soon as we parked, came, "Oh my god, I love your Pokemon car!" So that's really cool. We also have signatures on our vehicles too from different voice actors and stuff, and people who were involved with the series, and so that's kind of really cool to have people come up and not only get photos, but then realize that these have actually met the voices behind the characters and stuff like that, which is really neat.
That is amazing. Yeah, what was it? Years ago, we actually got to interview somebody who they had one of the Star Wars vehicles in their museum, and they literally had to start putting a special coating over the signatures because so many people wanted to come up and touch like Harrison Ford or Carrie Fisher's signature and stuff like that. So I'm sure that happens to you too. Do you do something once they sign it? Do you coat it in some way or?
Yeah, so we carry like clear laminate vinyl with us at all times. And then usually if we can get the voice actors and stuff to sign the physical car itself, we'll let them sign it, let it dry, and then we'll put a clear coat over it, and that protects it, doesn't let it fade or wash away or anything like that. If we can't get them to sign the actual car, what we learned is we take them a piece of the vinyl, have them sign that, put that on the car, and then put another layer on top of it. That way,
nice.
It's still technically signed, but not physically.
It's not the same way. Yeah.
But it's still on the car. So.
But cars is not all you do. You also have an event coming up in a couple of weeks. And is this your first or your second time doing it? I'm sorry.
So this will be our third.
Third.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So
tell us a little bit about it while Angel whines in my ear. I'm sorry.
So our
event, it's past your bedtime. Go to
bed.
Exactly.
So our event is called Motown Con. It is Mooresville's only anime, comic, and gaming convention. It originally started off as a simple cosplay contest. For some local teams, we help out with the library's cosplay team group, kind of teach them different tricks of the trade and give them different ideas on how to make their cosplays better, or if they have questions about a certain topic, we're there to help them. Because my friend and I, we've been doing cosplay for over 10 years, so we have seen just about everything that there is that you could possibly learn. And so we, 3 years ago, we wanted to just kind of give them their own little cosplay contest, because a lot of them don't have the means to travel to different conventions. Even if they're close, it's still, half hour away to Concord.
Yeah.
So we started off as that, and then it was like, oh, let's add vendors, and oh, let's do this and do that. And before I knew it, it was a full-fledged convention. The first year I had about 2 months to plan it, and it was very, very small. And it competed with Queen City Anime that same weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We ended up still having about 400 people show up, which was really cool for our first ever event.
Great.
That, yeah.
So, and then last year we held it at the movie theater in town, which was a very odd venue, and we were very, very limited on space. But
we did our first Geek Gala at a theater, so we're right there with you.
So, yeah,
it
so
was like what we could afford.
Right?
Yeah. You start where you can. So
right, absolutely. They were super grateful for us to be there. When we completely packed the movie theater, I think total overall, I think we had about 1,500 people the second year.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
So we quickly outgrew that. And this year we are hosting it at the local high school, and their huge gymnasium and their like state-of-the-art auditorium.
That is awesome.
So we're really excited. We're expecting a couple thousand, hopefully. But we're gonna have food trucks. We've got over 40 different fan cars signed up to display for us.
Wow.
We've got some really, really great cosplay guests coming in. Some from all the way from up in New Jersey are driving down for our event. It is October 7th, so about a month away.
Yeah.
Quickly approaching. We are very, very excited to have it come together. Everybody's super excited. Everybody's been super supportive of it. So yeah, we're super stoked to have our.
Well,
event.
we're gonna be there, right? Matt, we'll go.
I hope so.
We'll go. We'll do our best to be there. That sounds amazing. So it is Matt's birthday weekend, so it's up to him, but we will try to stop by, because that just sounds so
I
cool.
work in Mooresville, so that's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah. There's a lot of cows in Mooresville. I'm just gonna say that for the record, or at least the part that he took me to, because he gives me.
I'll take you to all the sites. Yeah.
I know. He just, I gotta tell you, it's first class all the way. But
There you go.
first time he took me up to Mooresville, I literally had been recovering from a surgery and just wanted to get out of the house. Like, couldn't walk around, couldn't do anything. But he packed me up in the car. We put padding all around the stitches, and he just kind of drove me around, and he showed me where he worked. But we did find this little tiny hole in the wall place where two elderly ladies were having a ice cream stand, and literally I think it was like Blue Bunny ice cream. It wasn't even like the big tubs. They were just like serving ice cream in little Dixie bowls, and it was the best ice cream. It was
There you go.
I will do it all day long, man. So but Mooresville was awesome, but there was a lot of cows, and there was a lot of like dirt roads, that the part that he took me to. So but it's also a lot of cars. Like, that's where a lot of the NASCAR guys like have their shops up there. So
right. And so we have two mascots that are one of our team leads designed for us. And so this year we really wanted to kind of bring that back to the NASCAR scene. So on a lot of our promotional stuff, we'll have the two characters in their own race suits that say like Motown on it. And then we've actually drawn up a car, one of like the NASCAR looking cars, to make it look like it's legit, and it's got Motown written down the side of it, and it's got like little sponsors and stuff on it. So we worked really hard with our logos and stuff this year to kind of bring that racing community back into Mooresville, but also kind of tie into like the nerdy aspect of it as well.
Oh yeah, that is awesome. I love it. So we are asking people who've been to the market before kind of their impressions, and I know you came to our February market, and I have to say, just like you were talking about The 4 cars all showing up at the same time was an awesome visual. It was one of my favorite things because I often kind of get stuck at the info desk and don't actually get to walk around my own market. But seeing you guys all drive in and kind of being like, over here, okay, and just donk, 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 all these Pokemon cars are suddenly parked in my parking lot. But you got to see parts of it. I know you guys kind of turns coming in and kind of walking around. So now we can't have food trucks this year, but and I know that was part of what was outside around you, but talk about some of the stuff that you got to experience there and kind of what you would tell people about it if you were trying to describe it to people, if you don't mind, not putting you on the spot or anything.
So we really enjoyed it. It was definitely different for us. We're used to either doing just car shows or full-fledged conventions. So it was neat to kind of be at like a flea market of the sorts, I guess. We learned a lot, actually. We pulled a lot of stuff from you guys to kind of incorporate into our own convention. Like we're doing a scavenger hunt this year that we helped out with. I know last year,
yes.
Year?
Yeah, in the spring. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Yeah, but we've kind of taken that and we've kind of incorporated it into our event as well to kind of keep people engaged and kind of get around to all the vendors and stuff to check everything out. But I thought it was really cool. It was really organized. Everybody was super friendly, super welcoming to the cars, which is always a huge plus. And I mean, the food trucks were really good. I like that you guys have a huge variety. I know you can't do it this year. But
we will have a lot of inside food vendors. So
see, there you go.
Yeah. So
ironically, we actually pulled the boba tea people that you had there. They're going to be at our event now. So
awesome.
That definitely helped out. But it was neat because we tend to see a lot of the same vendors when we go to different events. So it was nice to see different ones. There were still a couple there that we had already known, but there was a lot there that we hadn't seen before. So that was really cool to kind of see new stuff for once, because once you see one thing, you kind of see it all type deal. But I thought it was really cool. It's definitely a neat little starter if you're trying to get into like the convention circuit, I guess, to kind of get used to the vendor area. But I mean, I thought it was really well organized.
We're the gateway drug. Come into our
little taste. It gets you addicted. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to the November one. I know that you have the Cabarrus Arena now, which is going to be huge. I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah. We were going to put all the cars inside and then we realized they're not going to all fit. Like there's just no way. So we definitely are going to put some of there'll be a few cars inside, the ones that you really can't have them out in the rain if something were to happen. Hopefully it won't rain, but just in case. But all you guys have such awesome cars and you've agreed to kind of put them out the front, which I think is going to be a great way to walk up and see all these cool cars right off the bat. So that's going to be awesome. So and then I think, wasn't it you that told me about all the kids that we had the pirate theme last time, so all the kids had the inflatable little swords that running around it, which we had fun. So this time it'll be more castle-y, so we've got some other stuff lined up, but it's gonna be fun. But so if people want to find out about Motown Con, it's motowncon.com, right? Or they can find it on Facebook under Motown Con.
Yes.
So not in Detroit, by the way. It is here in North Carolina.
Yes. I get that a lot. Again, we have to come up with a name for this event, and Mooresville Con just didn't flow. And I know they always promote, it's happening downtown, and somewhere at some point I saw somebody call Mooresville Motown and it just kind of stuck.
And it works with the cars. So 40 cars, man, that's a lot.
Yeah, and they're from all over. We've got Alabama, we've got Florida, New Jersey.
Wow.
I'm honestly impressed when I put the application out and just let it sit for a couple months, and I would check it periodically, and just seeing how far people were willing to drive for just a one-day event is truly, truly surprising, because I would message each one that was out of state, like, you realize this is only one day, this isn't a weekend long thing. It's just a Saturday. Oh yeah, we're fine with that. We'll come out, we'll support it. It's no big deal. So that's always, the support that and that alone, especially with even vendors coming from out of state, is just a huge I guess, like uplift to us that, you know, keeps us going, especially with this year with all the setbacks and stuff that we've had with our event. But
You've had a couple challenges,
yeah, we lost our original venue a month before our event, so having to not only figure out what we were going to do, but we had to find a place that was big enough to host us. And
Right.
you would know, of all people, that you can't plan an event that large in a month and expect there to be availability in places anywhere.
Yeah.
At a
So,
price you can afford, because like,
Exactly.
let's be honest, we're
Right,
not going to
yeah.
be paying thousands and thousands of dollars, like
Yeah.
a couple thousand, you know, but it's a lot of
Yeah.
money to come up with, and especially depending on how you structure it, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But we're super grateful that the high school was willing to work with us on it. We're super excited to have us there. So fingers crossed they don't pull anything, you know, within the next couple of weeks. But we're really excited to kind of see it all come back together and, you know, not stress about having to essentially replant this in a month.
I appreciate that. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, and we look forward to seeing and hearing great things at Motown Con, and then of course having you at our event a couple weeks later. So
Absolutely.
thank you, Morgan.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was an episode of Guardians of the Geekery. Thank you for listening. Check us out at guardiansofthegeekery.com and stay tuned for more content.